I am incredibly excited about everything that we have coming up. I hope you enjoyed that reel. It's fantastic. And it's my absolute pleasure to be joined today by Sherry Jones, Impact Michigan host, Al Martin, host and producer of Beyond the Score and Streetlight Sessions, and Robin Pizzo, Director of Education. Thank you all so much for being here. I'm excited to have you.
Happy to be here.
Thank you, Ashley.
I'm going to start with you, Sherry. So you are very well known in this community. We're very grateful to have you here working with us on Impact Michigan. I would love to know, what drew you to working with public media?
Well, thank you for having me, and it's because you asked me. It was just a perfect time for me, and I have grown up with WKAR, and I have the utmost respect for WKAR, the programming that you offer, and how storytelling has always been a very important part of what I do. And I like the fact that WKAR always takes an opportunity to go a little bit deeper, to ask the question, why, and to settle into that storytelling, and to really listen to what people are answering. So to be fair and balanced, and the way that you connect with the community, which we just heard from the panel before, that was very exciting to me. I am thrilled to be part of this family, I would like to say, at WKAR.
And we're thrilled that you're here with us, so thank you. I do want to ask you if you could give the audience a little bit of a what to expect with Impact Michigan this year.
So it's thrilling that we are actually airing once a quarter right now, and we hope to do more shows. Our first one was on housing and the economic crisis situation that we face with housing and stability in housing. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. We are going to be talking about people's mental health, and also looking at, and this goes from grandparents to parents and teens and people that are using their phones and the algorithms that keep us on our phones longer. The reason that it's hard to put them down, but what that also does to our mental health. So we're going to be looking at that, and then education, and then democracy. That's the way the whole year will play out on Impact Michigan.
Yeah, we're very excited for everyone to dive into those episodes, and democracy in particular is going to link together two of our major initiatives this year that we're very excited about, which are America 250, you will have seen in that premiere and the promo up there, and Election 2026, a very consequential election, of course. So we're excited to have that episode leading right into election season. So Al, Streetlight Sessions. This is our newest music show. We have a new episode premiering tomorrow, I believe, on YouTube.
We do. Small plug, right?
Yeah,
I know we got some people watching digitally. Tomorrow, 4 o'clock, WKAR's YouTube. Okay.
Exactly. So Streetlight Sessions highlights local artists and culture. First of all, maybe could you give us a little summary of the show, and then talk about why it's important for public media to create a space for a program like this?
Yeah, first of all, thanks to everybody who has come today and everybody who's watching digitally as well. But I was thrilled when yourself and Megan came to me. This is right before the Christmas holiday, and said, Al, we know you love music, because if I'm not yapping about touchdowns and slam dunks, I'm usually talking about film or TV or music, right? And I took about 2 weeks during that holiday break to kind of brainstorm and come up with a concept. And I landed on one that is kind of in the same ballpark of NPR's Tiny Desk, but is a bit different, right? So Streetlight Sessions, it's a set that is mimicking outdoor street performances, right? So you have a street light, ideally, right? Streetlight Sessions, trash can with fake fog coming up, right? We're using a kind of an outdoor fire pit kind of setting with that, and newspapers on the ground. So mimicking an outdoor setting, an homage to street performers. And your second part of that question, Ashley, I think first of all, when you think about music, right, and the arts in general, film, TV, music, the arts are culture, right? And culture is people. And that's what we do in public media, right? And that's why music is so important. I mean, when you go to that family function, there is a soundtrack when you're at the cookout or at that birthday party. Also, too, when it comes to what we try to do with Streetlight Sessions, what we are trying to do and what we've done in the past as well with our musical programming, going back to Backstage Pass, is give these artists a platform, because we all know how hard it is to break into the music industry or the arts in general, right? It's so hard to find a platform that highlights artists and just shows you that, hey, oh man, I didn't know about James Garden and DJ Wise, or about Greg Burke and Rodney Whitaker. And then tomorrow with Dre Stoney, who's a fabulous Motown Detroit artist. So we want to give these artists a platform. And also, we want to share their stories, right? Their stories are already baked into the music that they play. But I think what is really cool is that quick bridge interview that happens between song 1 and song 2, which talks about, where they're from and the inspiration behind their music as well.
Yeah, thank you, Al. I think there's a great connection here between your comments, Sherry, about how public media allows you to go a little deeper and further, and yours about telling the stories of people. That's really, whether it's public affairs, politics, or music and arts and culture, that's what public media is able to do, and I think it's really special. And to that end, Beyond the Score is also a show that does that, but for sports. So I would love, we're moving into our 3rd season this year, right? So
Crazy, I can't believe that.
I know. So we're hoping to premiere that this fall for you all, but I would love to ask you, through the evolution of Beyond the Score, what have you noticed as you've been uncovering all of these stories? Have there been any patterns? Has there been any change in how you're approaching this?
Well, I think for me personally, I'm realizing more and more, and I knew this before, but when you're so close to these stories and producing them and writing them and directing them now, for me, it's changed the way I view sports. When you think about sports, of course, immediately we think about wins and losses and points, rebounds, and touchdowns. But, the people that are beyond, the scoreboard, that's what we're doing with Beyond the Score. And I mean, we've gotten an opportunity to cover some incredible athletes and other personnel that are within the world of sports in season 2. We covered the Lansing Cricket League, right? And as you saw in that montage, Bobby jokes about this all the time. Season 2 was kind of like a highlight of me just trying everything, right? I mean, I got a chance to ride a horse, as we talked about the MSU Rodeo Club. Oh, it went great. It went great, right? Bought a cowboy hat and everything. That was fun. I got a chance to get out there on the pitch and play cricket, right? And shout out to Sean, because he signed off on me getting into a NASCAR stock car and doing laps around Michigan International Speedway. And I think you were the one, Ashley, that told me. So I was, crossing my fingers that I'll be able to do this story and get behind the wheel. And I think, Ashley, you said that Sean noted to you that Al has a greater chance of getting into a crash on his drive to MIS than when he gets on the track. So yeah, very, very fun stuff. And when it comes to season 3, we plan on tackling topics like referee abuse, right? Officials don't get talked about enough. They don't get highlighted enough. You can't have the game if you don't have the zebras, right? So we plan on diving into that. Also, visually impaired skateboarder Nick Mullins will be a part of Beyond the Score Season 3, so I've been kind of coordinating that as well. And also, with flag football becoming an Olympic sport come 2028 out in L.A., we're tackling girls flag football and this wave that is flag football now. So just stories that go beyond your typical sports that you usually watch on any given weekend.
Yeah, what I've loved about this is while you're trying everything, I'm able to experience everything. I don't know if those of you in the audience are big BBC and Masterpiece PBS fans, but how many Masterpiece shows feature cricket games? And I've always wondered how the heck you play cricket. So now I know. Thank you, Al, for doing that. Robin, I'm going to move over to you. Robin, our Director of Education. Education is, of course, the hallmark and the backbone of what public media is and was meant to be. Can you talk a little bit about how education in the public media space is evolving for today's audiences, especially our youngest viewers?
Yes, absolutely. I absolutely love that, being a part of the PBS Public Media media system means that we are America's classroom. I have always loved that mantra and that idea about our programming. And for us, we make sure we provide as many opportunities as possible for children to explore all of the possibilities of their own lives. And we do that by making sure our programming provides a variety of content for academic growth, as well as social emotional growth, as well as just entertainment and creativity. But most of it is sort of hiding the education within those wonderful programs. For most of us, we're very nostalgic about many of those programs like Wild Kratts and Daniel Tiger and the Fred Rogers brand. But we're noticing in current times, our children want far more engaging, really explosive engagement in the programming, colorful bursts of all types of energy coming through those programming in a very short form package. And they don't want to sit for a long time to get to the gist of a long, drawn-out story. So that short form means that we need to be adaptable, make sure that we can produce programming that gets to the point, very engaging within a shorter form context for our students that still provides the highest quality to be America's classroom.
Yeah, that's really important. Thank you. And I think something I've loved seeing in the evolution of PBS's educational content, Sherry and I were just speaking about this, is the vastness of the social emotional learning content that's come out into the space, which is more and more important, and I think even more important with social media, as you will discuss in the next Impact Michigan. But we have a new program, or a second sort of season, a little different, of a program we had last year. Can you talk about I Feel Talks, which is giving kids space to discuss their emotions? Tell us a little bit about it and why this kind of content is so important.
Absolutely. So I Feel Talks is what we're considering I Feel's second season. I Feel really allowed children, kiddos, to talk about their feelings and all the big emotions that they have, and then to provide families with strategies in managing all of those big emotions. And I Feel Talks takes it a step further by allowing them to talk within community of each other, to have conversations about their dreams and their hopes about teamwork and even experiencing bullying, and all of the aspects of life that they're going to experience on a day-to-day basis, but being able to share how they manage those, what their concerns are. And we know that when it comes to social emotional development and mental health wellness, that stories really do spark healing. And so we love the idea that they get to have these conversations. There is definitely a community expert or a therapist or educator. Even Al took a shot at providing some strategies to manage those big emotions, manage those big moments and everyday moments that they're going to experience in life, and be able to feel confident that they are going to be okay. That's our goal. We've missed out on having enough resources for families and children to be healthy and strong in their mental health. And research shows that mental health begins at birth and spans a lifetime. And so we want to make sure they have those resources in place. And so we come along as partners in providing that with I Feel Talks.
Yeah, it's a very special show, and if you haven't seen the first season, it's also very special. You can find it on our website and I think YouTube as well. A lot of adults maybe could even use this content. I think I could, certainly. And it's been really special seeing how the kids can so easily engage with these topics and speak with each other about how they've experienced it. And then it's just taking that extra step of having an adult support you through being able to, work through that emotion. So
Absolutely. And again, the best thing is they are short form. So I feel was 30 seconds, and that came out of a conversation with programmers to say, what are you missing in the system, and how can we help fill some gaps when it comes to children's programming? And we heard across the nation that they were really missing these short interstitials that could fit in between programming, because as PBS kids, we don't show commercials. And so this was an opportunity for us to fill a gap. And when I Feel Talks came along, I had that conversation again with programmers and producers, and they said, hey, we still need a lot more interstitials to really push out our quality programming. And we thought, what's the longest we could go that you could still use it pretty regularly? And 60 seconds was the recommended time for them. So 60 seconds, but it is jam-packed with quality programming that highlights our children's voices and experiences and how to manage them within their body and within their emotions. Making sure that they are healthy and whole in all the ways that they deserve to be.
Absolutely. Thank you, Robin. And Sherry, this may be your first time in public media, but I know you do a lot of work with children in this community as well, child and family charities and other spaces. I'm wondering if you could speak a little to why you see public media being such a valuable resource.
Well, thank you. Yes, bravo. Bravo.
Definitely.
The need is incredible. And this is really what I see public television as, an opportunity to inform, to educate, and to connect. And young people, we need to meet them where they are. And this program and the educational content that PBS continues to put out, which is the legacy for the station, is imperative for the mental health. And we learn at all ages, right? We're lifelong learners. So when these 60-second they come on, I guarantee you there's parents in the room that are watching the same thing, right? So that is geared toward all of us. And we are community. WKAR is community. So the connection, the authenticity. In Impact Michigan, we're taking national issues and we're bringing them to the state level. That's why this programming works across the state. And we hope that a lot of our sister stations will pick that up. So when I hear programming like you and the passion that you have for what you do, to go deeper, to listen longer, to also connect and give people the resources that they need. That's why I love public television. That's why I'm honored to be a part of this.
I love it. Thank you so much. And Al, I'd love to ask you as well, in your own words, why does public media matter?
Ooh, that is a great question. I think public media matters because people matter. I think what we do in public media, what we're tasked to do, is to hold up a mirror to society and reflect the people that we highlight. But I love what you said just now, Sherry, to inform, educate, and connect. And I would probably even add challenge to that word as well, right? I think what public media does so brilliantly is it doesn't just reflect society, but it also challenges your thinking, and we need so much more of that in today's society.
And to your very good point, and having diversified voices in that, and I think that's what public media does. It really amplifies the diversified voices. Thank you.
Definitely.
Absolutely. Thank you. In our last couple minutes, Robin, how about you?
I was really hoping we would get that other question, what word would you define? But this still speaks to it, because I really think we are neighborly. We are neighborly, and that means we care about those that we live among. We support them in all the ways that we can. We try to share our stories, and our stories are varied and diverse and inclusive, and they bridge belonging. And that's why public media matters, is because we really do exemplify all the characteristics of being great neighbors.
Completely agree, and it's very special for me to be able to work with all three of you and everyone at WKAR, because when you walk in and you see the passion that you approach your work with, I don't think you get that in a lot of industries, and I'm very lucky to be able to experience working with people that are so passionate about making a difference in their communities. So thank you all so much for being on this panel. I've had a great time chatting with you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.